Ross and I just briefly talked before class started about the long slog of what we're dealing with the pandemic. And it reminds me a few years ago, many years ago, it seems like, I did an Ironman triathlon, and it was in Lake Placid, New York. And the swim and the bike and the run were all a 2-loop thing. So the bike was 2 56-mile loops. And when I was coming around this one part, there was a little boy. I was on my bike, and there was this little boy, probably was 5 or 6 years old, and he was outside in his front yard with a bugle, like an old school bugle, and he was blowing his bugle with all his might, just giving it everything he had to support all the people who were doing this race. And I chuckled inside, and it gave me so much energy to see this little boy, like, just so earnest in his support of all me and everybody else with me. And so then, sure enough, 56 miles later, I come back around, and he's still out there with his bugle. And he's a little kid, and he's still out there blowing to his heart's content on this little bugle. So I yelled to him and said thank you, and went on my way. And I thought about him for the marathon that I had to do after this. I thought about him a lot, and was thinking about how perseverance is a tool that we need to cultivate, that it doesn't come naturally for a lot of us to just kind of put the boots on the ground and go. And for some of us, it comes a little bit more easily. But really, it's a skill that we need to develop to be able to sustain our sense of hopefulness and contentment and peacefulness and joy amidst all the challenges that are all around us. So who is your bugle boy in your life? Do you have a cheerleader that kind of like keeps you going when times get rough? And how do you do that for other people? And I'm sure you've all had the experience where someone breathes fresh life into you, that when you meet up with someone that has this inspiration in them, that you suddenly are fed and receive energy. So let's think about the people in your life who bring that to you. So take a moment to close your eyes and think about who your bugle boys are. And let's have some deep gratitude for the one or many people that are coming to your mind that just naturally, emit hopefulness and a sense of just energy that you can drink up and share. Just have some deep gratitude for those people in your life. And then also know how you are that for other people. In what ways do you inspire other people? Do you give hope or a sense of support to others? And think about the light that you shine, and allow it to grow a little bit within you right now. So sometimes when I feel my light dimming, I imagine all those people that inspire me, people who have died already, people who lived long before me, people in my life right now. I imagine their lights kind of filling me up and shining out through me, kind of like an amplifier of your own energy. So maybe perhaps try that just for a moment. Think about all the people in your life that met, or maybe you've never met them, you've only been inspired by their words or their actions. And just imagine them amplifying your own light. Allow yourself to shine just a little brighter. Okay, so if you are feeling hopeless, even just a little bit, if there's despair, sense of what's the point, or drudgery, how can you plug in to this eternal source of energy? And let yourself be fed by it. So come into the breath, close your eyes, feel that sense of wakefulness, weight in your lower body, your pelvis. Is there a sense of spaciousness through your spine? Feel a sense of softness come into your shoulders. Relax what you can. Pay particular attention to where your collarbones meet your sternum. And just lift just ever so slightly, not to the point where you're pushing or forcing or squeezing the back body, but just imagine a little string, like a puppet string, lifting your sternum, letting your collarbones broaden out. What does this action do? This is very subtle, so try not to make it extreme. What does the subtlety of a slight support of lifting the heart do for your breath, your sense of how you feel emotionally in this moment, how you're meeting the world? Can you relax your face? Can you feel a sense of open-heartedness while being deeply at ease in the body? And then place your palms together at your heart and take a moment to bow in. How can you inspire someone today? Support someone today? And you know, the secret of helping others is that it feeds you too. So if part of your isolation has prevented you from offering yourself in service to others, how can you send out a phone call or an email or a text or some offering of your energy outward today? And then let's release the hands and come onto your back. All right. Okay, so stretch your body. Lengthen. Give a good squeeze. Maybe you want to hold your breath or yawn. Follow your natural impulses. Befriend yourself. And feel free to stretch the right side, the left side. Have some, asymmetrical movements in the hips and shoulders. All right, and then relax your arms down at your sides and bring your knees into your chest and soothe your low back. So rock a little bit, come into the sensation of soft in your low back, melt into the floor as you rock. Notice how the rocking is soothing in and of itself. I hope it's soothing. Maybe if you have some pain in your spine or in your sacrum, it could be a little uncomfortable, but I hope it's easy and gentle. And then let's spin the knees the way you don't usually spin them. Spin them that way first. Allow yourself to get comfortable with the path less traveled in the body. And switch sides. All right, and then right knee into the chest. Left leg is long on the floor. Spin around your ankles. Spin around your toes. Get some swivels and sways in there. Feel some compression in the hip joint. And switch sides. Left knee into the chest. Right leg is long on the floor. Feel the feet move again. Enjoy waking up some bare feet. Come into your breath. And then both knees into the chest. All right, open your knees and close your knees. So just get into the movement of your femur bones in the hip joints. Sense into the movement of your pelvis. Allow your knees to pull as far apart as they're going to comfortably go and just hang out there for a moment. And notice whether you want to draw your knees closer to your torso or further away. Find the sweet spot of allowing some openness in the inner thigh muscles, the adductors, very strong, deep muscles in the body. And then let's come back. Cross your right thigh over your left thigh and bring your knees and your head up. Give yourself a little hug in an unusual pattern. Deep breath. And then release your knees, release your head, and change the cross of your legs. So cross thigh over thigh if you can. Take a deep breath in Exhale, round the spine, tuck in a little bit, chin toward chest. Are you breathing while you're here? And then release your legs out. Put your feet on the floor, arms out to the side, and just rock your knees left and right. Coming into some gentle movement through the spine. Deep breaths. Allow the sense to come all the way to your arm, your chest. All right, and then scoot your hips over to the right. Bring your knees up and drop them left. So a twist we often end with. Let's begin with. Take a deep breath. Turn your head. Let this be, obviously opening for the spine, but also for the chest. Are you feeling any stretch across your pecs? And then inhale and lift the knees up. Find neutral for a breath. Find it here. Then when you're ready, scoot your hips the other way. Bring your knees up and drop them over to the right and open things up. So if you've been, heart closed a little bit lately for lots of different reasons, what can you do to feel the pecs open, feel the chest open, turn the head a little bit. And then go ahead and lift yourself back up to neutral. Starfish your body open, spread your arms and legs, spread your limbs, squeeze all the muscles you have. You might even feel yourself kind of lift off the floor a little bit. Stretch and lengthen, squeeze everything you can find. And then as you exhale, pick your knees up, bring them in, squeeze everything you can find here. Inhale, open big and wide. You don't have to squeeze, just stretch. Exhale. Tuck in. Let's do that one more time. Expand, open. Exhale. Close on. And then release your head back down. One more stretch we'll do here. Put your left foot on the floor. Interlace your right femur bone in your hands, or interlace your fingers and put your femur bone in those hands. Stretch your femur bone into the palms, lift the spine, lift the foot, drop the hip. Find your breath. Keep your left knee pointing straight up toward the sky and cross your right leg in front of the left and stretch through the outer hip. So move your femur bone, keep pressing it into your hands, keep lengthening the crown. What do you want to do with your foot? Try a few different positions and see what feels good. Are you breathing? And then come back up, bring the knee into the chest and place that foot down onto the ground. Left knee into the chest. Interlace the fingers behind the hamstrings of your left leg. Lengthen the spine. As you press your femur bone into your palms, feel the low back gap. See if you have a little space in there, crown and tail long. Find your breath, root the hip down and the foot up. And then as you're ready, let's cross over. So left thigh in front of right thigh. Try not to let the right thigh cave in. So we're just keeping the right leg very neutral. Keep the pelvis stable. Try to drop the left hip, press the left femur bone into your hands. Make your foot do different things and see what you feel. Breathe here. All right, and then lift that leg back up. Knees into your chest, round your chin up, and then roll over onto your side and come up onto all fours. Have your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. And let's start moving through some cat-cow. So arching and rounding the spine, taking your time, close your eyes, feel inside. Remember that quality of interoception that we're trying to develop, staying inside the sensations of the body to listen to what the body is asking, what the body is saying. Are you breathing? All right, and then feel free to move around any way you want to move around. So do you want to move your pelvis around? Do you want to move your shoulders around? Do you want to move your head around? What kind of movement feels really good and nice for you? And then we're all going to come, take your time. So do any kind of movement that feels right. And eventually, when you come back to a flat back, we're all going to shift our hips way off to the side. Just let those outer hips open a bit. And then come back and shift your hips way off to the other side. Find your breath. Try not to go anywhere without it as best as you can. All right, flat back. Inhale, reach the arm up to the sky. Either one, drop the shoulder down, finding the twist. Move your shoulders away from the ears. Breathe into the back of the heart space. See what you can do to relax your neck. All right, and then inhale. Reach that arm all the way back up. Place the hand down onto the ground. Second side, arm lifting. Slide that arm through. Gaze toward the floor. Deep breath in and away. And then as you're ready, go ahead and lift that arm all the way back up to the sky. Place the hand down onto the ground. Curl your toes under and find your way into dog pose. So pedal out your feet. Feel free to wake things up like you enjoy. So do you have your own little system of kind of waking your body up in dog pose? You can sway your hips and pedal your feet or be very still. You can move your neck around, your hands around. Just find your way into what feels good in this posture. Extending the spine, stretching through the bottom of the feet, lifting the sit bones high and wide. What does it feel like in that space in the top of the sternum and the collarbones now? Are you smushed in there? Did you kind of collapse inward? See what it would feel like to broaden the collarbones just a little bit. Find your breath. All right, walk your feet forward, come into Uttanasana. Feel free to wag your tail, move your shoulders around, any kind of movement that's nurturing for your body. Relax your head. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine gets long, the legs get long. You can hold floor, shins, or thighs. Exhale and melt back down. Soften your knees. Push up off the floor. Maybe you like to round the spine. Maybe you like to press up. Find the reach. If you're not a happy camper, when you come up, if you get dizzy, squeeze to your midline with your legs, your hands, tuck your chin until you feel at ease. And then as you're ready, we're going to all cactus open the arms. So make sure your elbows are in line with your shoulders. And if you end up like this, where your hands are forward, walk your elbows until your hands and your elbows meet. Okay, where the wrists are over the elbows. Bring them as far back as you can within that action. Shoulders down, chest up. Find your breath. Lift the center of your sternum again. Take a deep breath. Imagine you're on a pull-up bar. So reach your arms up and then pull yourself up to the chin-up bar. I mean, it's not exactly like this because we wouldn't have our arms out to the side, but just find that action of drawing the elbows down, feeling the back body, start to work a little bit for the posture. Deep breath. All right, now come with your elbows just a little bit lower. And same thing, you can start to bring your elbows back, but try not to do this where you're overarching the back. Stay stable in the center of your body. Feel the shoulder blades hug toward the spine. Find your breath. Then inhale, reach them up again. Exhale, release the arms down. Interlace your hands behind your back. Open the chest, bend your knees, and allow your arms to move away from the spine. Move your neck around. Find ease here. Deep breath in and away. Exhale and relax your arms. Grab onto your elbows. Have just a little bit of a tug there so you're feeling the rib cage lengthen. Deep breaths. And then inhale for a halfway lift. The spine gets longer, the legs get straighter. Exhale and melt back down. Step your left foot back, right foot is forward, coming into a lunge. Extending the heart, finding your breath. Just enjoy a lunge here. Let the hip flexors of the back leg lengthen and stretch. Widen the sit bones. Allow the right femur bone the sit bone to drop into the pocket you just created. Extend the heart. And then let's start to move. Straighten and bend the leg. Feel free to pick up your foot along the way if you want. When the front leg goes straight, if you want to pick up your toes, you can. Tuck your chin. Just find what's right for you. Enjoy the openness in the hamstrings, the openness in the hip flexors. The movement, enjoy the breath. All right, let's find ourselves coming into a lunge. Stay low in the torso, reach the arms behind you. Bring your hands out to the side so you're at right angles with your elbows, and lift the backs of your palms up toward the sky. Feel the shoulder blades drop down and in toward the spine. Take the rib cage off the leg. Extend the heart, and then come on up. Keep the arms right where they are. Open the chest, find your breath. Now, if you're happy with your arms overhead, go ahead and reach them or put them in any place that feels comfortable for your body. Extend your rib cage, extend the heart. Find your breath again. And then we're going to twist out to the side. Drop the shoulders. Can you feel the center of your sternum right where your collarbones are? Lift a little bit here. Find your breathing. Inhale, reach that arm all the way back. Place the hands down onto the ground. Back foot comes forward. Fold into a little ball. Okay. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step your other foot back. Find your length. Feel the hip flexors extend in that back leg. Root into the big toe. Feel your whole front foot spread out. Are your glutes engaged in the back of your back leg, your right leg? See what it feels like to have a little effort instead of just being completely passive. Hug to the midline. Find your breath. Deep breaths in and away. So as we come into movement, feel your breath take you there. So squaring the hips as you move your front knee into a bend and into a straighten. And remember, everybody's different in how their range of motion is. So if lunges are no good for your body, how are you backing away? How are you taking care of yourself? And remember again, the air quality is pretty poor today. So if you need rest, you take rest. Come into a lunge. Bring your arms back behind you. This time our arms are straight instead of out to the sides. Feel the triceps. Feel them lift a little higher than your spine. Engage through your core. Feel the shoulder blades. Pull the heads of the arm bones back. Find your breath. And then when you're ready, go ahead and come on up. Bring the arms to the sky or anywhere that's serving you best. Engage the glutes on the back leg. Try not to forget that you have a full leg to engage. Find the midline with your inner thighs, both inner thighs. Feel the support of your core. Lift that center point of the heart. Right where the collarbones, it's not really the center point of your heart, it's higher. Lift where the center of your sternum and collarbones meet. Okay, twist to the side when you're ready. Hands can be on your hips. You do not have to have the arms out to the side. Whatever your lunge is, stay there. Try not to back away. Obviously, if your legs need to back away, do that, but don't automatically do it. Hug to the midline, twist on your exhales, find the breath. Okay. Inhale, arms back up. Place the hands down. Come onto all fours. Bring your knees down. Find a cat-cow, arching the back, rounding the spine. Stretch back towards child's pose for a moment. Let's do that a slightly different way. Come back up onto all fours. Anterior tilt the pelvis a lot, so lift your sit bones high and wide and come back to child's pose like that. If you can't go all the way down, just go where you go. Take a deep breath and walk the hands over to the side of the mat. Deep breath in and away. Feel the breath touch into the rib cage. When we're trying to do some heart opening practices to prevent us from being slumpy in our energy, the side bodies are really important. It's not just sticking your chest out. Find the breath living in all the places the breath can live. Walk the hands over to the other side. Weight in the pelvis. Relax the base of the skull. Deep inhale and exhale. All right, come back to center. Come up onto all fours. Feel free to swivel things around a little bit and come back to dog pose as you're ready. Pedal out your feet, spine movement where you need it. Extend through the spine. Feel the femur bones lift up and back. Deep breath in, deep breath away. Inhale, lift the right leg up in the air and open up, stack open that hip. Feel the stack of one hip over the other. Notice if you collapse through the side of your body, see if you can lengthen. Stretch all the way to the heel, so leg is straight. And then square the hips. Bring that leg back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it back. This time we're going to plant the foot forward. Come into a lunge. Inhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. Open up the chest, come into crescent lunge. With our hands interlaced, we have a very high tendency of overarching the back. So protect with your core. Lift the very center point where your sternum and your collarbones meet. Find the breath. Protect the low back by the integrity of your center body. Okay. Unwind the arms. Walk your back foot forward and bring your knee up in the air. Reach the arms to the sky. Find your breath. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Okay, and then we're going to swing back. So just practice moving in balance. Stretch back to a lunge. Hands down onto the ground. Back to dog pose. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Let's lift the left leg up in the air. Square the hips to begin, and then as you're ready, stack. Try not to collapse the right side of your body. Have a little loft under there. Stretch all the way to your heel in the air. Deep breaths. Square up the hips, reinvigorate your arms. Take an inhale. As you exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, bring it back. Exhale, plant your foot forward, come into a lunge. Interlace your hands the other way. Inhale and rise up. Be very mindful, it's so easy to over-compress the low back in this position, so be very careful to engage the transverse abdominis, maybe back away from your lunge a little bit if you need to. Find the chest lifting, the shoulder blades moving toward each other. Deep breaths here. Okay, unwind the arms. Bring them wherever you want them to be so that when you come up and stand, you have some balance. Swing that leg forward in front of you. Reach the arms to the sky or out or hands on your hips wherever you go. Find your breath. Standing leg, pay attention. Yield, soft knee. And then we're very slowly going to bring that leg all the way back. Go as slow as you can back into the lunge. Reach the arms. And then place the hands down onto the ground. Come into a plank. Hold steady here. Find your breath. Deep stabilization through the center of the body. Find what you're finding through your breath, through your core. Deep inhales, deep exhales. And then we're slowly going to lower ourselves down to the ground so you get to decide where you want to be. And we're going to hang out here for just a moment. So find your breath, wag your tail. Take an inhale, come up to a cobra pose. Try not to overdo. Exhale, come on down. One more time before you lift. Engage your legs. Solidify your pelvis, your glutes, your legs, your core. Find dynamic strength through your breath. Inhale and lift up with all that strength in your lower body. Exhale and melt back down. Do it again with no strength. Let your legs be completely passive. The belly is totally passive. And just notice how you don't do it very long. how yucky that is for your low backs. Try one more time. Stabilize. Stretch your legs. Engage your quads. Engage your glutes. Engage your inner thighs. Engage your core. Inhale and lift up from there. Exhale and release back down. Turn your head one direction. Swivel your feet. Just let your back have a sense of softness as you windshield wipe our knees and feet from one direction to the other. And then we're going to do this pose a little actively. So find your legs again, all the work that you know you can find. And then we're going to just lift the upper body with no hands. Shoulder blades move down. Feel the strength in the back of the body. Keep the back of the neck long. Make sure you're only going as high as your center body can accommodate. So is your core supporting you? Are you breathing? Are your legs engaged? And then exhale and melt back down. Come up onto all fours. Feel free to move around so you can swivel, sway, maybe do a rock from one side to the other. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Walk your sit bones high again. Come into dog pose. Long spine, so feel free to sway here. Feel free to bend the knees a lot. We're going to roll forward into a plank. So let the back round a little bit as you come forward. And then feel the very center point between your collarbones lift forward. Balance that with the strength of your core and the back of your body. Come back, dog pose. Deep breath in, bend your knees. Let's walk your feet forward and come into a squat. So we want our knees bent, palms in front of us, elbows inside your knees. Feel the adductors, your inner thigh muscles hug against your elbows. Feel the deep squat. Extend the spine. Deep breaths here. Okay, great. And then lift your hips. Bring your hands down, a wide-legged Uttanasana. And you can even take your legs wider than that if you want to. Feel free to create some width through your legs, kind of coming into more like Vajrayana, so however feels good to you. All right, great. And then come on up. Come to the front of your mat again. Find your breath, palms at your heart. Deep breath in, deep exhale. Separate your feet, okay, just about hip width apart or a little wider, and let's spin our arms. So let this be just as much about your chest opening as it is about your spine twisting. All right, and then go ahead and relax. Inhale. Arms up to the sky, cactus one more time, chest sprig, open and free. And exhale and fold in half. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Step the left foot back. Come into Virabhadrasana 1. So warrior pose 1. So the back heel is down onto the ground. Find your way forward and lean forward a little bit. So, when you come into this pose, try seeing what it feels like to lean forward in the beginning here. So we have that long angle of the spine instead of coming right up right away. Experiment. If your shoulders don't like arms overhead, bring your arms down at your side and lift your crown. Strengthen your back glutes, soften the knee, weight into the heel. And then when you're ready, climb up higher. Find the pose without compressing the low back. What can you do to lengthen? Don't worry about squaring the hips. They just go toward that direction. Hug your back heel toward the midline. Engage your glutes. Find your breath. And then exhale and release the hands. Come into half splits. Lift that leg in the air. Extend the sternum forward. Collarbones stay broad. Hips are square here. Deep breath in, exhale, tuck your knee behind your knee. One-legged squat, tuck your chin toward your chest. Inhale, press it out. Stretch that foot in the air. Glutes are active on both sides. One more time, exhale, tuck in. Inhale, press that leg out. Exhale, place your foot down on the ground, 2 feet on the floor. Halfway lift, feel the growing spine, the soft knees, the thigh bones back. Can you feel the stretch all the way into the bottom of your feet? Lift the arches. Exhale and melt and fold, relax. Step your right foot back. Come into Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Start low again. Remember, the arms do not have to be overhead. They can be out to the sides, palms together, arms back. There's lots of choices if your shoulders are not happy with arms overhead. Extend the spine. Stay low at first. Feel the front and the back body supporting the posture. And then when you're ready, start to come up. Feel the space between your shoulder blades. Match that with the strength of your core. Feel your pelvis engage. Your glutes are working on both sides. So to make your front glute work, push your foot into the floor. To make your back, well, you can just engage your back leg by lengthening it more. Breathe. Maybe you want to tip your head back and interlace your fingers and go a little deeper into a back bend, a thoracic back bend. Exhale and release the hands down to the ground. Hop up onto your foot, hands on blocks, half splits. Anywhere along the way, you can back off your practice and rest. Remember, this is for you, not for me or anybody else. Deep inhale, exhale, tuck knee behind knee, round the spine a bit. When your next breath comes, stretch out and do it again. Exhale. Stay here for a breath. Feel your feet spread out. Use your core. Next breath in, stretch and lengthen. Let's put our right foot down onto the ground. Feel the draining of equality between the two legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and melt to fold. Climb up, push off your feet. Reach the arms if you're at all dizzy. For everybody, bring your hands to your heart. Let's have a pause. Feel free to bring your arms down too if you want, whichever feels comfortable for you. Have a moment of connecting with the earth, yielding and breathing. Bottomless breath with the diaphragm. Feel it travel to the pelvis, to the bottom of your feet. The knees are soft. Inhale, open up your chest. Exhale, cactus one more time. Just enough where your body feels good. Don't overdo. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Step your left foot back. Right foot comes forward. Virabhadrasana 1 again. Either leaning forward or coming up. Arms go where you want them to be. We're going to find Virabhadrasana 3 in a moment. Extend upward. And then as you're ready, lean forward, arms back, triceps higher than spine. Engage your core, hop up onto your one foot. You can always change and do half splits instead. And remember, the pose can be here. You do not have to be deep. You just want to find that line through the body, wherever that line ends up. Find your breath. Full inhales, full exhales. Soft knee that you're standing on. The work of the glutes is strong here. Can you feel that center point between the collarbones lift? Big giant step back. Virabhadrasana 1. Arms go where you want them. Exhale, hands down, plank pose. Deep inhale, long exhale. Can you lift that point in the center of your sternum now? Can the collarbones be broad and the shoulder blades be strong? Balance with your core. Come all the way down to the ground. Interlace your hands whatever way you want. Weird way, easy way. Take a deep breath in and lift maybe into full locust with legs up. Maybe just torso up, you decide. How are you working in the body? Are you stabilizing the pelvis and low back? Back of the neck stays long. Breath is here. Lift that center point of the sternum. All right, and then melt, fold, turn your head, pick up your feet, relax your arms, swivel back and forth, windshield wipers. Feel your body come to rest on the ground. Put your feet down, take a breath here, melt for just a moment. And then as you're ready, come back up. Maybe you need to take some time on all fours to move your spine around. Maybe child's pose feels really nice in your body. Maybe dog pose feels really nice. So making those transitions from a back bend and out, everybody's very unique in what they need. So find what's right for you to transition and eventually find your way back to dog pose. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Let's bring the left leg up in the air. Swing that foot through to a lunge. Come on up, Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Find your body. Where does it need to be in space? Where does your spine need to be in space? Where do your arms need to be in space for you to protect your back and feel stable? When you're ready, come up into Virabhadrasana 3 at whatever place you want it to be. If your arms are back, lift your triceps, engage your core, feel the puff of your kidneys a bit, soften the knee you're standing on, square hips, root the crown and tail and heel away from each other. Find your breath. Center point of the sternum, lifting. Breathing here. And then as you're ready, a big giant step back. Maybe you lean forward, maybe you come up, place the hands down onto the ground and come onto all fours. Find your way into child's pose. You can put your knees close or far, whichever feels nice in your body. Take a moment to rest here. Deep breath in, deep breath away. All right, let's go ahead and come onto your back. If you like using blocks for bridge pose, have them handy. Heels are close to the ground. Before you go anywhere, let your spine melt. Find a moment, just letting your breath be here. And then as you're ready, we're gonna come up, we've been doing a lot of this chest broadening already, but now we're gonna bring it into symmetry in the body. So lift the pelvis, rock onto the tops of the shoulders. That center point of the sternum now can kind of get lost because your throat and your chin can get compressed. So feel the back of your neck move in gently to the ground. Try to find a little gap. There's space under your neck and there's space in your throat. Lift your sternum. Move your triceps into the earth. Press your arms down. Find your feet, all 4 points of your feet. Equalize all your muscles in your legs to support you. Inner thighs, outer thighs, quads, hamstrings. Find the symmetry across your chest, your pelvis. All right, and then go ahead and rest back down. Relax your shoulders for a moment. Find your breath. Put your arms where you want them to be. Cactus, arms out, whatever feels good. A couple of deep breaths here. And then we're going to roll over onto your side. I know you want to stay here and we'll come back, but go ahead and roll over onto your side and come up onto your knees. Okay, so first just maybe another cat-cow or any kind of swivels in your spine that feel nice. And then using your blocks, we're going to take our right leg forward, heel is on the ground. Lift the spine. Okay. You can have 2 blocks on one side or 2 blocks on one on either side. Whichever works for you. we're gonna find our way into a twist. So if you need a little more height, you can stack up one block over the other. So try when you do this to keep the pelvis from doing weird things. You wanna keep the pelvis even, inner spiral your leg, try not to let the foot fall out to the side, and twist from here. Think revolved triangle pose. So press your big toe forward, inner spiral your thigh, and maybe reach your arm up, maybe keep your hand on your hip. Whatever you're doing, lift the center point of your sternum, drop the hip. Breathing. All right, and then come back. Two shins onto the ground, child's pose. Relax the base of your skull. Maybe if your forehead is lucky enough to touch the floor, rock a little bit left and right. And when you're ready, come back up onto your shins. Let's bring our left foot forward, and you decide how you want the blocks to be to support you, whether you need one or two. It's easy for the hip to hike out and up. Keep the hip in and down. You might need to take your legs in a slightly different position, so just find your way. Stretch through the big toe. Try not to collapse the foot or roll the foot out. Stretch the spine. Start to twist. Center of the sternum staying broad and lifted. Collarbones spread. Maybe the arm stretches open, maybe it doesn't. Inner spiral the thigh. Drop the hip and bring it back. Stretch through the big toe. Open the collarbones as you breathe. Okay, and then come back around. Get rid of those blocks. Bring your leg back. Child's pose, all fours, whatever you need. So now you get to choose a hip stretch. So you can either choose pigeon pose, reverse pigeon pose, or a thigh over thigh pose. So pigeon pose is this one where you bring your leg forward and you take any support you need underneath your sit bone or thigh and you find your way down. Reverse pigeon pose, you're on your back, your foot is on your knee, and you're either grabbing behind your thigh or the shin. Thigh over thigh hip stretch is what we did in the beginning of class, cross thigh over thigh and draw the knees in and hold the knees or anywhere down the shaft of your shins all the way to your feet. So you decide which of those three variations is right for your body. If you're in pigeon pose, make sure you're taking the support that you need so that there's ease in your posture. When we're starting to cool down like this, the important thing to remember is to be within your range of motion. You know, you don't want to go crossing boundaries that you shouldn't cross, but you also want to meet a boundary. So the way you meet a boundary is with your breath. And sometimes if you're in pigeon pose, if you support your head, it will allow you to find just the right amount of support you need for the body to respond and relax into the stretch. Whichever choice you're making, you're breathing. As the body quiets, the mind sharpens, or not sharpens, but speeds. So if you start to think again, think back to those people that inspire you. Notice if being in your body and in your practice has given you a reprieve from your stress, from the feeling that you're just kind of overwhelmed, if that's how you've been feeling at all, fatigued by all the strain of what we're all experiencing. Notice if your practice has given you energy, given you a sense of presence, a little bit of respite. Come out of the posture and come into the second side. So however that looks for you. And you may have a different pose on the second side. You also, if you're in pigeon pose, you may need more or less support on one side than the other. Our hips are typically not the same. So you may have one hip that's tighter than the other that needs a little more support, or knee, whatever it is that you're finding. So whichever pose of those three that you're doing, make sure that you feel restful and at ease, that you feel capable of breathing deeply and surrendering. that the body can feel the depth of a stretch without overwhelm or tension. You feel ready and there's no rush. If you're just super duper happy and you're just like, no, I really want to stay in this posture for a while, then by all means stay in the posture for a while. This is the beauty of doing yoga in your own home. You don't have to listen to me at all. Okay, you can just go off on your own little trail. Let's go ahead and come on out of there if you're following me. We're going to come onto our back. Bring your knees into your chest and rock. Hopefully the hip stretch was enough to ease your spine, but we're going to add one more twist into this. I'm going to give you two choices. Either a simple twist like we did in the beginning that we do all the time, where you scoot your hips over one side and drop, or if you want to get into the hips just a little bit more, since we did a lot of hip work, you can cross one thigh over so cross right thigh over left thigh, scooch hips left, and cross legs to the right. And you can stick a block underneath there as well. You can do this twist the other way, so it's fine to twist the legs all the way over to the other side too. But this one will get into, just the outer rim of the pelvis a little bit. So sometimes it's deep, so if you want to support with a block, that's very helpful. Deep breath in and away. And go ahead and lift the legs up. Unwind if you were wound. Is that a word? Wound? Yeah, wound up. Okay, so go ahead and rock here for a moment. Nurture your back. Either do the second side with the classic twist we always do, or if you're doing the unique one, cross left thigh over right thigh. We're going to lift our hips and scooch them to the right, and then we're going to bring our knees over to the left. Put a block underneath your right knee or left knee or whatever, wherever it lands, and find the pose. This is not for everybody. Sometimes this twist is a little too much, so unwind the legs and just have stacked knees if it's too much for your body. Deep inhale, deep exhale. All right, unwind the legs and go ahead and find a neutral spine again. Bring knees to chest, rock around a little teeny bit. Maybe happy baby pose is in your practice here. Maybe that's what you want to do. Maybe it's not. So as we move towards Shavasana, we have a little time, a couple of minutes, I think, to do a bit of restorative before we go. So if you want to try Supta Baddha Konasana, that might be a nice thing, or put your legs up the wall. Blocks underneath your knees can be a very simple way of just being without too many props in Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together, butterfly the knees out. Perhaps you'd rather do legs up the wall or legs up a piece of furniture like a chair or a couch. So you do you. Maybe you're still inclined to do some chest opening and you'd like to roll a blanket and put it underneath your shoulder blades and roll over it for a chest opener. So whatever is serving you. So listen to your body. If you made one choice and you're like, nope, not the best choice, Then make a different choice. Okay, so what's going to be soothing for what you need soothed? Open up the body and breath. Feel the melting. And then if you want to make a different transition into Shavasana, if you want to be flat or put your legs up on something, make a choice for how you want to rest. If there's anything your body needs, go ahead and take whatever kind of movement or stretch or pose you need to find ease. And then as you come to rest in Shavasana, know that this posture is so important in our practice. It's not one to be omitted or skipped if you are running out of time. Skip something else if you're running out of time. And come into the grace of deep rest. Melt the head, melt the spine, melt the pelvis and the legs. Find the breathing body. Relax your face. Let's begin to deepen our breathing again. As you prepare your body for movement, find the inspiration in your breath. Let the energy move into you. Feel, give you what you need. And then find some movement. So you can have a big full body stretch. You can have no stretch and just bring your knees into your chest and rock a bit. You can start small with your fingers and toes and work your way in. And as you're ready, find your way. Take your time. Be on your side for a moment. Curl into a little ball. Feel the ease of being on your side. And then as you're ready, go ahead and come on up. Come to a comfortable seat. Bring your palms together at your heart. And let's just take a moment to once again have gratitude for those who inspire us. And gratitude for the ways in which we inspire others. Let's uplift each other. Offer your energy like an up current for an updraft for a bird. Offer your energy. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.